is the Josh Innes Show.
Howdy, and welcome in to the Josh Innes Show. It is Josh, it is Jilly, it is Luther, and we are here for you tonight. We are here for you every day. We are here for you because we love you, and you love us. And together, we form an incredible crew known as Gist Nation. Jilly, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm glad to hear that you're good. We went golfing today. Well, I golfed poorly somewhat. I had a few moments. Jilly rode around on the cart to try to get some sun.
Yep.
So
I liked
we
it.
did some living.
I enjoyed it.
We did some living today, baby. We did some living. We're going to go back many times. I need to get that. I need to talk with Matt Moscone and see if maybe he wants to do a golf whenever we go to Baton Rouge in a couple of weeks. Got a polo shirt on that really accentuates the titties a little bit. That's the thing, 2XLT, so it's a little tied up in the titties. But, otherwise it was just too damn big if I got the 3XLT. So, you got to make decisions. We all make decisions in life, Jilly. And this is a decision that I had to make.
You look nice in polo shirts.
Well, I appreciate that. Now, before we get into anything else today, I do need to tell you about Dr. Busby and ToeGrips.com. I love hearing all the wonderful messages that people have been, I love to read them. Read the messages that we've been getting from people about using Dr. Busby's supplements. Most notably, Dr. Busby's Encore Mobility, which is something that we are big supporters of. Luther's been taking it, and as we've told you many times about this Encore Mobility, Luther's a completely new dog after taking this. He's a totally different dog. He runs around, he plays. He doesn't find himself limping around as much with joint pain. So if your dog is dealing with anything like joint pain or maybe hip pain or having some mobility issues or just seems kind of run down, there's Luther giving sugars on the camera there too. Look at Luther, he's such a good boy. But if your dog's dealing with any of that, give them this tasty tablet called Dr. Busby's Encore Mobility. It is an awesome supplement. You can read all about it at ToeGrips.com. And, of course, you can use the promo code Luther, L-U-T-H-E-R, 10% off your purchase at the website. And, of course, there are the toe grips, which are awesome for your dogs. Maybe they're older and they struggle to walk on hardwood floors, have arthritis, an injury, surgery, or disability. These are awesome to help your dog gain some traction on these slippery surfaces. So make sure you check those out as well. They'll be great for your dog. Life-changing. These supplements, the toe grips, they are life-changing for your dog. If you want to have a happy dog, a healthy dog, a vibrant dog, well, this will help. The toe grips will help. The supplements will help, and you can find them all at ToeGrips.com. Of course, promo code is Luther, L-U-T-H-E-R, and you'll get 10% off site-wide, and there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So make sure you check them out. ToeGrips.com. It is ToeGrips.com. Dr. Busby, you're wonderful. We love you. Check out her blog on the website as well. Check them all out. Everything she's got to offer at ToeGrips.com. ToeGrips.com. 10% off with the promo code Luther. All right, everybody. Welcome into the party. Adam Prophet is back in the chat. I haven't seen Adam Prophet in the chat in forever.
It's been a while.
But Adam Prophet is in the chat. He's ready to go. And if Adam Prophet's still here and still alive, well, my guess is he's just completely shocked that he's still alive. That's if I had to guess. Because I'm fairly certain that he thought he was going to die for months. But he's still alive. Figure that out. Let's see here. I've been pimping the Encore Mobility to all my friends and family. Several of them have confirmed they're ordering. I told them all to use Luther as a promo. Thank you, MW Solgrove.
Awesome.
That's awesome. Is Josh wearing a collared shirt? Well, it's a polo shirt. I wore this to go golf today. Josh, did you play golf today? Yes, I played golf today. Thank you. That collared shirt, though, and people... Is it really that big of a deal that I'm wearing a polo shirt?
Yes.
I wear polo shirts on occasion.
Not really anymore. So I said you look nice in them. You look nice in your party shirts. You never wear them, though.
I am so sorry.
But you look nice in polos. That's another Michael Strahan shirt.
I know,
You're
I
Michael
like Michael
Strahan head to toe today, right?
Yeah, I got the Michael Strahan shorts on. I got the Michael Strahan shirt. He makes some good stuff. How'd you shoot today? Well, I only got through 13 because I had to get to work, and I got stuck behind some old people. I got stuck behind a group of 5. Then one group would let me pass. I'd pass them. I'd play through, and then I'd get to another group of slow-ass people. You'd think these people are playing in the fucking Masters, or they're out there playing, for their big-time money. It's just me playing by myself, trying to motor on through here. I assumed, hey, I'm playing by myself. I should get through this in 2 hours, 2:15, whatever it is. I'll be done with 18 in like 2 hours. After about 2.5 hours, I had to leave to try to get to work. I had to take Jilly back home and everything. So I played 13, and I was 14 over. So I was averaging about a bogey. Had a couple of pars in there, but I was averaging about a bogey. If I would have continued, I probably would have been somewhere in the neighborhood of like 92, 93. So it wasn't horrible. Gotta wear an undershirt. Who the hell wears undershirts with a polo shirt? Are you 14 years old? Is this high school? Who does that? Like, gotta wear an undershirt under a polo. Screw off. I'm not wearing an undershirt under a polo. I don't even like to wear polo shirts. Why would I put another layer on under this? Like, that's the kind of crap you did in high school because you didn't want people to make fun of you, so you wear a white T-shirt under your polo shirt. In no way am I going to put on this shirt that's already a little tied up in my titties anyway and put on another shirt under a polo shirt. I am not doing that. There is a 0% chance I'm doing that. If you are a man, you put on your polo shirt and you wear it with no shirt on underneath it. That is stupid. I am absolutely opposed to that. Putting a polo shirt on under, or a T-shirt on under a polo is completely inappropriate, and it should not happen. Old Greatness brings up a good point. It's too hot to be wearing an undershirt. Of course, it's 96 degrees. Why would I be out there wearing 2 shirts? Now, I'd consider it if I were wearing kind of like an Under Armour long sleeve thing, because I'm trying to sweat or something. Like, we played golf with Salisbury last year, right? And Salisbury's wearing like 3 layers of shirts to golf, and it's like 100 degrees. I'm like, Sean, why are you doing this? Wife beater, bro. I ain't wearing a wife beater under a polo shirt either. I wear white Hanes undershirt. I don't understand the point. Like, why do I need to wear an undershirt under this? Undershirt is a sure way to avoid y'all's plumber ass. Thanks. Let's see here. I used to wear undershirts under T-shirts, and then one day I never wore one again.
And that was that.
And that's all I have to say about that. That was it. Now, again, like sometimes I'll layer a T-shirt. Like I like to wear like a T-shirt with a long sleeve shirt underneath it sometimes. But I'm not going to do that in 95 degrees, and I'm certainly not going to wear an undershirt under a polo shirt. Like that's the shit I used to do in high school, man. Middle school. I ain't doing that. Like, let me ask you this. Do you guys wear undershirts or a T-shirt under a Hawaiian shirt? My dad does, and he's a jackwagon for doing that. It looks stupid.
I mean, there's some people that wear an undershirt under everything, though.
Well, that's stupid. I am vehemently opposed to the undershirt. The undershirt is terrible. I will not wear an undershirt under a polo shirt. I will not wear a T-shirt under a Hawaiian shirt. I will not wear a T-shirt with like a button-up shirt that I'm wearing untucked. I do not wear undershirts. I do not negotiate with terrorists, and undershirts are terrorists. I sweat profusely and still never wear an undershirt, and you shouldn't. You have to wear one if the fabric is itchy, but that's different. And by the way, if the fabric is itchy on a shirt, I'm just not going to wear the main shirt anyway.
Yeah,
I'll wear something else.
That's a poor choice to buy an itchy shirt.
Like, you know what? I got this shirt. Damn thing's itchy, but God, I got to have it. Well, why would you do that? Do we still starch our jeans to the crispy line down the middle? Sure, Raul. Why not? Did your mom ever take you to the J.C. Penney to try on clothes? Like, my mom used to take me all the time. And like, because it was so awful to go shopping with your mom, because mom would sit there and look at stuff for hours, and then mom would have you try on clothes, and she'd always put her hand kind of in the waist of the jeans and be like, all right, do you have room? How do these feel? And she'd just yank on your waist, on the waistband of the pants. What's wrong with wearing an undershirt with a jersey? Also something I always do. Okay, there's nothing wrong with wearing an undershirt under a jersey. I'd argue that wearing the jersey is the number one problem most of the time. But number two, the jersey is different because the jersey is in the category of like sweatshirts. And generally speaking, you wear a shirt under a sweatshirt. But I'm not wearing an undershirt with a polo shirt, a Hawaiian shirt, or a button-up shirt. I ain't living that life. That's not the life I'm about. Jilly is greater than Natalie on 97.5. Well, look at you. You've got fans, Jilly. You've got fans. Good for you. They love you.
Well, thank you.
The undershirt is good for pit sweaters that don't want to show off their pit sweat. Here's the thing, Krilla Gorilla. If you're that bad of a pit sweater, it's going through the undershirt. The undershirt isn't going to be like super thick, I wouldn't think. You live a strange life, Josh. What strange life do I live? I live a very awesome life. I kick ass. Love the 97.5 show. Had to come check out your podcast as well. Good show today. Thank you, Hans Hamill 9. Thank you. Appreciate that. What kind of clubs do you have? Mine are Callaway clubs. And I can't hit blades. I can't hit any clubs. But I need a bigger head on the club. And what's your favorite balls to hit? I don't really have one. I was using Shrixon today. Like, I've never been someone who's like, oh boy, I'm good enough to where I think the ball makes a difference.
Not a ball
That's
snob.
that's what good people do. Good people are like, good golfers, I should say, are the type of people that are like, well, I could only hit Pro V1s.
Does
or
Matt
I can't hit.
Moscona have a certain ball? He seems like the
No,
type.
I don't think he does, but I haven't played with him in a while.
But you can see where I would say,
Back in
he
the
likes
day-
his nice whiskey. Maybe he likes his nice golf balls.
He might, but I don't know. I don't think he does. I think he's just a reload type of guy. Here's my favorite. I used to love, and you don't find them much anymore, but Academy used to sell the hell out of like Pro V1 X outs, and you could get a box of X outs. That like the only difference. Here's what an X out is. If you want to learn some more golf terminology, Jilly, like we were talking today. An X-out golf ball is a golf ball that has some slight deformity about it that does not impact the way an average hacker like me plays at all, but it's not made to the perfect specifics of, say, a Titleist golf ball. So they just throw them out, basically, and they sell them for like 1/10 of the price. So I used to score those, the Pro V1 X-outs and all the other X-outs from Titleist. Now, the catch is, the ball, generally speaking, says X out on it, so people know you're playing an X out, but it doesn't faze me because I ain't out there to try to win the Masters. I'm out there hacking, man. Reload bag, and if the round is going well, I pull out the good ones. That's a good way to do it, MW Soulgrove. I like Grant. Like, I've got a whole sack of reloaded golf balls that I haven't even opened yet. I ordered them off of Amazon. Now, I'm weird, though. Like, I like the reloads, but I do like to have at least one specific type. Like, I like to buy a box of one type, but I don't have a specific type that I have to play with, right? So I don't have to go out and be like, oh, I hit a Titleist because it helps my gamer. Like, there are times when I used to play a lot that I thought that maybe I'd be good at some point in life. So I would go to Academy, or I'd go to wherever, Golfsmith, Walmart, wherever, and look at balls. And I would read all the breakdown of the golf ball on the case and like, well, it's got a soft outer layer that really helps for control, and then the hard inner core for distance and all this. And I'm like, I listen, I'm just hoping to make solid contact. And if I do that, it was a good effort on my part. I picture Josh being like Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack when buying golf supplies. Hey, where are the orange balls and the naked lady tees? That is me. Hey, look, orange balls. I'll take 2 of those, 6 of those, 7 of those.
I feel like you should get orange balls, though. Like, that's a good idea. Like, there were some yellow ones out there.
Well,
It's
the yellow
much
ones
easier.
are driving range balls. Like, that's generally
well,
now, you can play a yellow ball.
it's easier to see.
Just because you couldn't see any ball I hit didn't mean I couldn't.
I can't follow them at all.
Josh, the worst person you can golf with is the guy who sucks but is constantly trying to fix your swing without you asking him. That is also a horrible human. I don't need you to fix me. I've been playing golf since I was 18. I don't see things changing the way I do it now. I suck, but I like to play the way I play. That's a Mizuno polo shirt? No, it's a Michael Strahan polo shirt. I don't know what his brand is, but I forgot what it's called, but it's Michael Strahan, and it was on sale over at JCPenney, and he makes some great quality material. You said you were bopping 240. Straighten it out. Oh, I can. I think today my long drive, at least via the estimate that I came up with based on the distance from T to where I went. I mean, obviously that's distance. But, I mean, I didn't have a range finder anyway to prove this. But I think I bopped one out there at about 260, 270. I got some pop. I had some pop when I was a little baseball player, and I have some pop on the golf course. No practice swings. I don't like practice swings. Dude, I haven't golfed in, trying to think of the last time I went to golf, and I can't tell you, I don't even know when it was. We've gone to, like, the driving range, but I couldn't tell you the last time I played a round of golf. I go out there, and I don't go to the driving range. I hate the driving range. I am a red light player. I perform when the match is on. I can't go out to the driving range and hit balls. I don't enjoy it. So I rolled up, grabbed my driver, in fairness, completely duffed the first one off the tee. But, good news, I put another ball on the tee and launched one right after that. Do you wear a glove? No, I didn't today. I have one, but it's got a hole in it, and I don't find that I need the glove. I'd like to play golf, but have no desire to be good at it. That's what makes golf fun when you don't have a desire to be good at it. I need to get back. One of the other reasons I want to move out to Florida versus like going to the Northeast or somewhere else where there's cold weather. The perk of having basically perma summer, perma spring in an area is you can play golf all the time. And I'd love to just play golf every day and get mediocre at it.
And you do that so much here in another climate where, it's summer and spring all the time.
No, but what I'm saying is, see, then what can happen is like we can live on a golf course somewhere and be like members. I want to be I don't consider this elitist to say this, but I would love to just be a part of a country club. I don't like the people at the country club, but I'd like to be a member of the country club and, have my own cart and stuff and just go out and hack whenever I want to hack and have a good time. And then you can come along with and all that. I golfed and bowled in high school with friends for fun and ended up getting really good at both. Well, that's good for you. When Strahan plays golf, do you think they aim for the hole, or does the group just try to hit the ball through his gap? Waka waka. Let's see. Just Nation meetup at Top Golf. Top Golf's fun, but my issue with Top Golf is it's still ultimately going to the driving range. And as you know, I just said it, I don't like the driving range.
But you can still
That's practice. I don't want to practice.
They've got like 12 different games.
That's true. You at least can aim for stuff. You'd be the dude cursing, drinking Bud Light. I am the dude cursing, drinking Bud Light.
And breaking.
That's me.
Breaking clubs. You didn't break any today.
No, I didn't. No, because these are still relatively new clubs. See, it's all strategy, right? Like when a manager gets deliberately thrown out to motivate the team, that type of thing. When I broke my clubs that one day, I was like, I need some new ones anyway. And I'm
one day? I thought there was another time you broke a club.
there have been other days.
I think there's been multiple
But the day
times.
that I broke them that led to purchasing these new clubs was a day of golf in Delaware. And when I say a day of golf in Delaware, it lasted about 5 holes. Drove all the way out to Delaware. It lasted 5 holes. I broke a club. I broke 2 or 3 clubs over my knee, threw the other ones away, and immediately went to Golf Galaxy and bought new ones. I've been away for a while, but I love Jilly's new hair, says Adam Prophet.
Thanks.
And Adam knows good hair. I wish you get a free bowl of soup. Looks good on you. Oh, well, we got some Caddyshack, and of course you have to do Caddyshack when you're out at the course too. Do you have a hole-in-one story like Jay Pritchett? I don't, but I have holed out from $130, $140. I holed out once, but nobody was there, so nobody believes it, and I wouldn't believe them either, to be fair. Because it's me, and this was back like right after high school, and I would just go play by myself a lot at the Muni courses in Baton Rouge. So there's and based on what people knew about how mediocre of a golfer I was and still am, there's no way they would believe this. But I did luck out and hole out from like a $130 or $140 once. But again, no one saw it, so it really didn't happen.
Did it really happen?
Let's do a Just Golf fundraiser for Blue Lives Matter. That should help your public image. Oh boy. That'd be a great one. We're having a big golf tournament for the cops. I want to guarantee that I never get a job. So, and it's sad to say this, but a good way to guarantee you'll never work in radio is probably to support the cops. So I don't know that would work out too well. Is that a collared shirt? Yes, it's a collared shirt. It's a polo shirt. What does it matter?
Because you never wear them. So it is a big deal when you're wearing a collared shirt. Maybe someone thought you had a job interview today. LOL.
Wouldn't that be something? But I didn't. I played golf. Although my grandpa's always told me that all the big decisions are made on the golf course. The problem with that is my grandpa sells cars and always has, so I don't know what big decisions he's had made on the golf course. Our boy Mike from Colonial Concepts likes the salmon color of the shirt. Well, thank you, friend.
I do too.
All this started from you wearing a collared shirt tonight. I know, and it's led to a 20-minute discussion about undershirts and golf, or the time I hit a 20 on the hole at the golf regional, which is one of my great sports moments of my life. Man, and I know I've told this story, so anybody who's a regular listener of the show would know this story, but I was a senior in high school, and we were playing in the golf regional at, it was at Pelican Point in Gonzales. And I was like the alternate. My score didn't matter anyway. I wasn't a very good player, so I mean, whatever. But I get up on the first tee. It's a dog leg right. Get my tee, and I'm all decked out. I got that old school golf look. Got a sweater vest, shorts. Sweater vest was over a polo shirt, wicker type Tom Kite hat. Got the glove. The night before, I bought all these golf balls, and I marked them with the number 41 because it was my basketball number.
Yeah.
So I'm like 41. Like, and I bought like 3 dozen balls. 41. And I had the golf shoes. But see, I don't know. You and I were talking about this earlier. Golf shoes have really evolved because golf shoes used to be the most uncomfortable things ever. They were just horrible, like church type shoes that dug into the back of your heel and into your Achilles, and it was terrible, you know. But now they're like really comfortable. Hell, I got some golf flip-flops with like little spikes in the flip-flops, so they've gotten a lot better.
You've never worn those, though.
I haven't, but I'm just saying they're there if I ever want to. Did you have a white belt? No, this is before like the Euros started rocking the white belts. White belts are a relatively new development. I was more like old school, like looking like Tom Kite or whatever. So had the wicker hat, had the vest. In my mind, I just kept hearing like the NBC US Open music, like dun, 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 like all that stuff, man. And I get up on the first tee, and I'm feeling pretty good. I got my driver, you know. Dog leg right. Well, first ball off the tee. Well, the dog leg goes right, and then inside the dog leg off to the right kind of is woods, and it's out of bounds, you know. It's a very easy hole, but, you know, not for me. So first one, solid contact, which is my main thing. Anybody who's played golf in front of people, especially those who you don't know, your main objective on the first tee, even if it's just the starter that's there, like the Marshall, you still want to launch a good ball off the tee because you don't want to be judged. And if you hit that one good ball, the starter doesn't see you the rest of the day. So he just thinks you're badass. So I launch one, dog leg right, out of bounds. So I drop 2, I'm hitting 3 off the tee. 3 with the driver, same result. Dog leg, misses the dog leg, goes out of bounds. So I'm dropping 4, I'm hitting 5. This is a par 4. It's a short par 4. Off the tee again. 5 goes out of bounds, so I'm dropping 6 and hitting 7. And I'm still on the tee box at this point. I pull out a long iron, which I can't hit anyway, especially back then. Put that on the tee. Launch it like it was like a 4 iron. Out of bounds, so I'm dropping 8, hitting 9. I try the long iron again. Miss again. Drop 10, hitting 11.
It's amazing that you remember every detail about this.
Yeah, well, because it was one of my great moments ever. It's a story forever. 100 bad days make 100 good stories, right? Well, here you go. Here's one of those. So I pull out a pitching wedge and try. I'm like, I just got to put it out there because I'm on 11. 11 goes out of bounds. I'm dropping 12. I'm hitting 13. Off the tee again. I finally put the wedge in play on 14. And I eventually shoot a 20 on the first hole. And this is at a golf regional where they make you walk 18 holes, carrying your bag and everything. So I wanted to quit. I was all decked out, and I looked, I said, can I just not play? This is kind of pointless. Can I go home? They're like, nope, you're going to finish this shit. So sure enough, I'm walking. I finally finish out the hole. I shoot a 20 on that hole, and it's a disaster.
Why don't you tell that story as much as you tell your 3 for 3 from downtown?
I've told that story plenty, too.
Not as much as 3 for 3.
That's a long story. The 3 for 3 from downtown is, hey, I went 3 for 3 from downtown.
Well, because you somehow remember every club you used it in what order and everything.
I've told the story many times.
It's very strange.
It's not strange. I mean, I think people remember
Very
these things
detailed.
about their lives.
Very detailed.
So, and I was going to just quit, and they wouldn't let me. So I'm walking from 1 to 2, and the golf coach from one of the other schools that I knew drives up to me, and he goes, hey, Josh, man, how'd the first hole go? How you hitting them? And he's like, and I go, yeah, not so great. And he's like, yeah, everybody heard you shot a 20 on the first hole. Holy shit. And then just kind of drove off. I agree with Jilly. Josh can remember so much detail about one day 17 years ago, but can't remember to restart the computer on Sundays or to clean out her car after he drives it.
Boy, both accurate facts.
I don't remember anything from any time. Like,
All you remember is high school sports.
No, because that was so much of my life.
You're literally Al Bundy.
Yes, and that's okay. Because those were great times in my life, and I was locked in.
Those were the greatest times of your life. High school
I didn't say
sports.
the greatest. I said those were great times in my life.
But that's all you remember.
I remember a lot of stuff. I remember a lot of stuff up until like certain times in my life, and then after, really, where it starts getting fuzzy, and I don't want to use this as an excuse, the encephalitis. After the encephalitis, I stopped remembering. Like, I don't know, I don't focus as well. Back then, I had really good, like, laser focus, and I was so locked in on stuff because I had big ambitions in life. I had drive in life.
You also didn't have a smartphone.
Correct. That was a huge part of it.
I think the smartphone and the encephalitis kind of tied in around that same, because, like, that was really when smartphones became everything. Like, you were on the internet constantly. It was, like, around, like, 2010, 2011, same era. So I think it might have been the combo of
but back then I was locked in like 2005, and it was my life, you know, like I was calling games and I wanted to be a broadcaster, and I had like tunnel vision, but I remembered everything. I don't remember things. And as you know, you hang out with my dad. He doesn't remember shit about what happened 10 minutes ago, and he doesn't listen. I do think I'm inheriting some of his shit, and that worries me. I'm concerned about that.
You're going to be making a movie before you know it.
I know. Well, before we get into anything else, Jilly, who do I need to tell them all about?
Concrete chemistry.
Concrete chemistry.
Which there was a Jeopardy clue yesterday that we watched from Friday's show, actually, which I'm pretty sure we talked about.
What was the answer?
I don't remember.
I don't either, but I remember
But it was a term. I'm like, oh my God.
Yep, it was something to do with concrete and the chemistry of concrete.
And we had the whole breakdown on Saturday, and I swear that's where I knew that word from.
But Concrete Chemistry designs and installs resinous and polished concrete floor systems for commercial and industrial and institutional applications.
Might have been resonant. Resonant?
Was it?
I think it was.
Something like that. Polyurethane? No, I don't remember what it was. In 10 years, Josh will end up making Go Fishing the Next Generation.
Yep.
Oh, God, it's sad. It's probably true. In response to COVID-19, they're offering virtual job site walks and virtual project estimates via Google Duo. You can schedule your appointment at the website. It is concretechemistry.com. Eric Daly is the president. He called us on Saturday, and he said that, hey, if people are wanting to have this kind of look in their homes, he can do that as well. But obviously, you see, it's a much bigger job, generally speaking. But if you want to have this kind of industrial look in your house, hey, why not, man, if that's what you're into. 713-497-4701, 713-497-4701 to get in touch with Eric and everybody at Concrete Chemistry. Make sure you tell them that you heard about it here on the Josh Innes Show. You are part of Just Nation, and obviously Eric is part of Just Nation, and we appreciate it. Who's next, Jilly?
Colonial Concepts and Designs.
Hey, Colonial Concepts and Designs. Mike is in the chat tonight, or at least he was a second ago. Don't know if he still is, but I hope he's been out there and been busy. I really do, because we love Mike. He's one of the original sponsors. There he is. He's here, and he's ready. He's enjoying himself in the chat tonight. And Colonial Concepts and Designs been here since the beginning. We love them. They support the show. We support them. Life is good, and we appreciate you. Now, what do? Well, they take your old, kind of beat up, shoddy looking houses, right? And, you know, they're kind of outdated and kind of, you know, it's like time forgot these houses, kind of, and you need some maybe, you know, I don't know, new patio, new stairs, You need to work on the floor, the walls, or the kitchen and the bath. There's something about your house that's so outdated and so unappealing, and you must solve this. You must remedy this because you're tired of living in an old, ugly house, right? Want to make it look modern and look good, right? Well, they'll do that for you at Colonial Concepts and Design. Cabinets and countertops, drywall and drywall repairs. They do it all, and they do it well. And if you've never seen them at work, let me tell you, man, go to their YouTube channel, and you will see some work being done. These guys still out there doing work, despite the fact that Kenny and Wolf trying to hold the business owners down there and saying you got to stay home and be an asshole. Guess what? My man's out there getting work done. Check him out. Again, check them out on YouTube. You really get to see some action there. And if you mention the Josh Innes Show, 15% off your total labor cost just for supporting Yes. How about that? 15% off. Check them out, Colonial Concepts and Designs, and you can check them out on YouTube. That's probably the best place to do it, on their YouTube channel, to see what they're all about, see how they're living, see what they're up to, see these great transformations of these homes. They're awesome. Colonial Concept and Design. Got one more today?
We do. Harbor Classic Builders.
Harbor Classic Builders. That's right. Gama, we're going to have to hang out with him at some point and drink some beer. He wants to drink some beer. And who are we to say no to beer? Hooray, beer!
I've been dying to go to a bar. I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we never really went before the lockdown either.
That's true, but the problem with going to the bars now is like, according to Roller Governor says that that's really the bars that have been the biggest issue.
Right.
It's not going to stop. I mean, what's the difference between going to a bar if you're staying away from somebody versus going to a restaurant? We go to restaurants, so I have no problem with going to a bar.
And Luther would like to go. And
especially an outdoor bar,
right.
So I'm all about that life. But the guys over at Harbor Classic Builders, I know we're supposed to get Murphy Yates on at some point. I mean, look at us just talking to all our sponsors on the phone. But Murphy Yates, he is the owner. And he is the founding member of Operation Finally Home, which builds mortgage-free homes for wounded veterans throughout the country. They've built over 100 homes for these veterans, and you can see everything they're doing on Facebook. They've got great pictures of these beautiful custom homes they've built throughout the years, and they'll help you with everything, man. When I tell you that they've got architect, they can set you up with an architect, an engineer, an interior designer, construction loan. They will put you in contact with their hand-picked experts who they've partnered with previously. It is a great experience. It is an awesome experience, and you will have, I'm telling you, you guys will love working with them. Gama is very thorough. He's a great dude. They're a great group of people over at Harbor Classic Builders. So check them out. And again, find them on Facebook. And 281-960-3900, 281-960-3900. It's our friends at Harbor Classic Builders. There you go. Josh, did a black man get hung in Houston? No. That was what
Twitter told you yesterday.
Because
but no.
Twitter is full of lies. Everybody is full of lies. And the whole world on Twitter was like, look out, Houston, there's a lynching. Why is the media not talking about the lynching? Turns out it was a Mexican man or a Hispanic man that hanged himself.
His family confirmed he was suicidal, so... But yeah, no, that was like the big trend yesterday was there was a lynching in Houston.
Yeah. And then, of course, but that's the sad thing is people wanted that to be true. Like internet wanted that to be true. And then it turns out it was just a Hispanic man who hanged himself from a tree. He was suicidal. His family said he was suicidal. And ain't nobody talked about that anymore. It was one of the top trends in Houston, 610 and Ella, because everybody thought it was a black man that was lynched, and that's what the media wanted, and that's what Twitter wanted. They wanted that to be the reality because it just fits everything they believe about all this stuff.
Well, no, I guess the media didn't want it because remember that was what Twitter was mad about was the media wasn't covering the lynching.
Oh, yes.
That didn't actually happen.
But the media would have been all over it had it been. But yeah, it was a Hispanic guy who hanged himself. Did you see the ratings for Long Gone Summer? It was the lowest rated 30 for 30 of 2020. Well, here's the thing. I would argue also that the audience isn't nearly as captive the last two of the. First of all, the two subject matters haven't been as interesting as the Jordan one and arguably the Lance one, which I thought was interesting. I still haven't watched the one about Bruce Lee, and I'm not overly interested, but it's there if I want to watch it. And the McGuire one, it was all fluff. So, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was fluff. There was no drama in it. So, like, I don't care what the ratings were over a 30 for 30. Like, what's going to change? Like, are we going to demand our money back for ESPN? Let's see here. Josh, did you see the 12-foot tiger shark caught on a deep-sea fishing charter out of Port Aransas? I didn't, but that sounds large. Now, other stuff to get into today. So, the Mike Gundy thing continues to be a thing. So he's had to go back on Twitter and issue a form of another apology because I'm still confused.
Well, he never apologized in the first video.
And I don't he didn't owe anybody an apology for what it's worth.
He was supposed to apologize for, yeah, but he didn't apologize in the first video. He instead made the player apologize, basically, in the video.
Yeah, and the point being in all of this is that he didn't need to apologize for wearing a damn T-shirt, but they go on Twitter yesterday and they hug it out and everything. So now I guess Mike Gundy is still feeling the heat. So then he has to do another video about this shirt because one of my big questions was, what change does this player want? Now, if you believe Doug Gottlieb, and I don't know how honest he was or serious this was or how exaggerated it was, so I'm not going to get all angry or worked up over it because I don't know how true it actually is.
Well, like 8 players now have denied these things.
Okay, fine. But now maybe he exaggerated it based on the words he used. But maybe there's still some truth or an element of truth. But the change, allegedly, according to Doug Gottlieb, the change that was wanted was that players can use, like, wear earrings, can wear do-rags, can play rap music with vulgar stuff in it.
That's degrading to women.
They can sag their pants. Again, my guess is that Gottlieb exaggerated this. But even if there's any shred of truth that the change that somebody was demanding was more cosmetic type of stuff like earrings, like that was your big issue.
But that all fits into culture, you see.
I don't care.
So if they want to change the culture and they want to make it more appropriate to, be yourself and, represent your culture, then maybe that's what they were going for. And Doug Gottlieb just completely stereotyped it. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. I honestly don't have the answer, so I'm not going to get, all worked up over it. But don't sit there on Twitter and tell me that you demand change. Then never tell us what the change is either. Like, the player should tell us, if you're going to go online and you're going to be angry over something and say we need change, well, you've brought us all into your world now. Now you're telling us that you demand change. Well, tell us what the conditions are at Oklahoma State, because they must be really shitty at Oklahoma State if Gundy's had to issue basically multiple apologies to this, and this player continues to talk about how bad things are and how things need to change. Well, give me an example of what is so bad at Oklahoma State, and then I can at least try to understand. To just throw out a vague statement like, we need change and change is coming, and then, of course, you got Mike Gundy also talking about the change.
I had a great meeting with our team today. Our players expressed their feelings as individuals and as team members. They helped me see through their eyes how the T-shirt affected their hearts.
Okay, we'll stop there for a second. Again, so this T-shirt bothered these guys, but they want change, and I'm not trying to be a troll here.
It's the culture. They want to change the culture. They don't want their coach wearing a T-shirt that bothers them.
Okay, fine, but there's always going to be things that are going to bother people, right? Like that's, I get it. You didn't like the shirt, but a culture change isn't just about a T-shirt. Like, there has to be more going on at Oklahoma State that makes them uncomfortable as opposed to a guy wearing a goddamn T-shirt on a fishing trip.
Once I learned how that network felt about Black Lives Matter.
Also, I find it hard to believe that now maybe he was just wearing that shirt and had no idea what it was. But wearing the shirt, my guess is what they feel about things.
You probably watched the network a handful of times, I guess.
Or I would think. So, like, the idea that you're like, I did not know how they felt about Black Lives Matter.
I was disgusted and knew it was completely unacceptable to me.
We're just in a world now, though, where we're just going to take every white dope out there and we're going to try to embarrass every white guy with the best of everyone's ability to just embarrass every white dude out there.
I want to apologize to all members of our team, former players, and their families for the pain and discomfort that has been caused over the last 2 days.
Pain and discomfort over a T-shirt. I have a better idea of what pain and discomfort is, right? Like, I think a lot of guys are trying to make this their Rosa Parks moment or their Martin Luther King moment. I would imagine there were a lot of people who've experienced far greater pain and discomfort than some college kids seeing a coach wearing a shirt of a network that they perceive and that other people perceive to be bigoted, I guess. But I'm fairly certain people have suffered greater hardships than this.
Black lives matter to me. Our players matter to me. These meetings with our team have been eye-opening and will result in positive changes for Oklahoma State football.
And I want to know again, now that we're making this big federal case over this, and they're saying that things are going to change, all I want to know is what was so bad, other than the T-shirt. We get it. You wore the T-shirt, right? It wasn't a KKK T-shirt or anything, but whatever. It's a T-shirt.
But it might as well have been based on this network, right?
Come on. No, I disagree with that.
He could have worn a Confederate flag shirt. Maybe he has in the past. Maybe this has been an ongoing thing where
But Jilly, that's what I'm asking.
I know. But I'm just giving, you're speculating, so I'm speculating too. Like they said they want to change the culture. Maybe the culture is they felt that Mike Gundy doesn't value their opinion or value their lives.
Well, here's the thing. It would be nice if you're going to make this public like this kid did, if you're going to make this public, then you need to come at me with something better than things are going to change, things are going to change, things are going to change. Because if you're willing to go public with it, you're obviously passionate about it. So tell me what needs to change.
The culture.
Yes, but you then give me details because I want to know how bad the culture was. I don't think it's unfair to ask what that culture was. If the coach has to apologize for this T-shirt, explain to me what was the culture. Was the guy was the guy burning crosses? Was the guy saying the N-word? Like, what exactly was going on that had this culture so bad at Oklahoma State that the coach is having to do this pathetic apology?
I sincerely hope the Oklahoma State family, near and far, will accept my humble apology as we move forward.
Think about the absurdity of this, though, having to issue a president, like you're the president that just got a blowjob in the Oval Office. Like, that was a Clinton-level apology right there.
It was.
Like, I just want to know what the culture is there. I don't think it's unfair to ask that. Now, if you would have never made this public and you just would have gone to your coach and that would have been that, then it's not my business. But you've made it everybody's business by going public and letting everyone know that change is coming. So I just want to know what change that is. Now, there's some guys, like some of the news media people, like, bless their hearts, news media people are really just the worst. And I was scrolling through ESPN's website today, and I see Paul Finebaum, who's such a twerp, such a weasel. And Finebaum, who, bless his heart, he's been able to build a whole universe. Basically, he's built this entire universe and this media empire out of taking calls from dipshits in Alabama over the last, 20 years. And he's parlayed this into being some sort of voice of the SEC on a show that many people don't even watch because it's a waste of time. And the only thing that made the show good was the dopes that called, and now they've reined all those dopes in. It's not even a good show. But Paul Finebaum has issue. Now, I haven't heard this. I haven't watched it. All I see is a video, and the video has Marcus Spears. The video has Mike Greenberg, and the video has Paul Finebaum. And the question is, should Mike Gundy be fired? Okay, should Mike Gundy be fired? Let's see what the argument here is for this.
I thought the wrong person to apologize. Chubba's just expressing his frustration with his head coach in the middle of a major national and international crisis wearing a T-shirt of a network that I must admit I've never seen, but I've read enough about. And
it's also fascinating to me that no one's ever seen this network, but based on the opinions of people, they're like, this must be the biggest piece of shit network ever. And maybe it is. I haven't watched it either. But everybody's so outraged by this network, yet none of them have any idea what they talk about.
A commentator on that network recently said that Black Lives Matter is a farce. So I can understand the frustration of players. What I can understand is why Mike Gundy has been allowed.
Also, is it possible that, and I'm not saying about OAN, but anybody, is it possible that people do believe that Black lives do matter, but the group Black Lives Matter is a farce? Is it possible that people could believe that, and would that be okay?
To coach at Oklahoma State. This is not his first rodeo. This is not the first time he has embarrassed, if not humiliated, that university. And I think the sooner that Oklahoma State gets rid of Mike Gundy, the better it's going to be for that school, and especially the players who go out there every Saturday and give their blood, sweat, and tears for that university.
Please.
Okay, so that's Paul Finebaum saying that a guy should lose his job because he was wearing a T-shirt of some crappy right-wing network.
And that he's embarrassed the university many times.
What has he done, though?
I don't know.
Like, what has he done that's embarrassed the university? Oh, you mean when he stood up for his players and said, I'm a man, I'm 40? Like, yeah, that was funny, and everybody played the audio. But the gist of that was that he was defending his players against erroneous media people. Is that when he embarrassed it? Oh, is it because he has a mullet? Is that why he embarrasses the university? Let's see what Marcus Spears had to say.
Continue with that thought. That's the only follow-up question I can think of is, why do you believe all the things you just said, Paul? Because I find them fascinating.
Because I have watched Mike Gundy over the years. I mean, the only meaningful thing he has contributed to Oklahoma State during his tenure there of 15 years is doing the I'm 40 and I'm a man video a couple of years ago, 10 years ago, that went viral. Other than that, he has not been that great of a coach. He's 2-13 against Oklahoma.
Also, now what we're doing is we're changing the argument. So the argument is now not that the guy was bigoted or racist. Now what you've turned it into is the guy's just not a good football coach and they should fire him anyway. Like, when was Oklahoma State ever good, first of all? They really never have been. And he's a pretty decent coach. He's not fantastic, but come on. But now, of course, the argument, he's 2-13. So since he's 2-13 against Oklahoma, which who would have thunk that Oklahoma, one of the 5-6 blue bloods in the history of college football, would beat Oklahoma State? Oklahoma in those last 15 matchups, they've had coaches like Stoops and now Lincoln Riley, okay? That's a blue blood university, top 5-6 program of all time. Oh no, the guy in Stillwater, Oklahoma is only 2-13 against Oklahoma.
The University of Oklahoma. Try going 2-13 against your rival and continuing as a head coach. But that's not really the issue here. The issue is his insensitivity. He humiliated the school 2 months ago when he laughed off COVID-19. Basically, so let's bring the players back. There's too much money at stake here.
Oh, by the way, virtually every human on the planet. Do you think that Fauci should quit? Fauci laughed off COVID-19. You want some real talk? Paul, go back to January and February and show me that, and I'll show you that Fauci scoffed. He scoffed at COVID-19 and wearing masks and saying it wasn't going to impact America. So if we're firing Gundy over doing that, then let's fire Fauci, although he basically already has been fired.
And he has not changed that at all. He continues to embarrass this school every time he opens his mouth.
Okay, well, Paul Finebaum says, see you later. So now it almost sounds like he's just got a vendetta anyway. Like anybody who'd be that angry over this that wants to get the dude fired over that, like, come on, bro. Like really? Like, so that's what we are now. Like, we're sitting here saying that Mike Gundy, who from everything I've seen is not a dude that's done anything bad to his players, and so he doesn't fit and fall in line with what you believe. Like, it's a scary world for people, man. Like, and by the way, it's all going to come back around to Finebaum as well. See, here's what these altruistic people that love to get on the internet and get on TV and tell people they should be fired. Here's what you're eventually going to get here. It's going to come back to you because it always does. And when you're the guy throwing the rocks and you're the guy pointing the finger, it will eventually come back to you because you think because you're sucking up to the internet, you're being big bad fire the coach guy, fire Mike Gundy guy, because you're being that dude and that's who you are. You think that you're going to suck up enough and pander enough and Twitter and everybody else will never come after you. Go ahead and slip up one time, Paul Finebaum. You're on live television 3 hours a day, sometimes more. Something will happen. You will slip up. And don't forget that same group of people cheering you on now saying fire Mike Gundy because they've got their pitchforks and they're loathsome people that just want to cancel people because they have no recourse over anything. Those people will come after you next. It will happen. You're a white dude in the South. You will have somebody come after you at some point. It will happen, and your career will have a bunch of people saying it should be over. You should be fired. You're out. It will happen. I mean, look at Stern. I know the Stern story's kind of faded, but there was a couple of days there where people were talking about Stern in that way.
Nothing really came of it, though.
No, he actually is grandfathered in. Nobody gives a damn about some hacky writer talk show host from Birmingham, Alabama nationally. I mean, ESPN forced Paul Finebaum on people on the SEC network, and they need programming, and they need to justify paying him way too much money for he doesn't bring in an audience. He's basically a waste. So they have to justify his existence by putting his shitty radio show on television. But man, like I just don't like that. I don't like how like willing people are to just want to have people fired. It's not right. Like nobody wants to hear anybody's side of anything, and nobody wants to have a debate. People just want other people fired. They want their lives ruined. Also, Mike Gundy's an embarrassment because Mike Gundy said, I'm a man, I'm 40, or he laughed off COVID. Let me tell you something. We all laughed off COVID. You know why we laughed off COVID? Because Fauci and all the experts also said it wasn't going to be that big of a deal.
Now, to be fair, though, Mike Gundy did it like in the midst of it, like in April.
Okay, still, I mean,
that's when like everything was locked down.
I get it.
So it's a little different, but it's still not worth being fired over.
I get it. But still, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's extremely frustrating to see how willing people are to just try to ruin other people's lives. And for what? Like, it's like, I would ask this. I would ask Paul Finebaum this. Do you think Mike Gundy is a bad person? Do you think Mike Gundy is an awful guy? Well, you've given me multiple examples, and neither one of these examples to me are fireable offenses. Because even though the head coach says, hey, let's go play some football or let's go to camp in Oklahoma State, it ain't going to be his decision. Somebody above him is going to make that decision anyway. So basically what we're saying is we must eliminate people if they ever espouse a comment or a thought that we disagree with at any point or it turns out to be wrong. We must eliminate this person. And I don't like that. That is completely unhealthy. That's not good, and that's bad. It's not good for the world. And it's only going to continue to get worse. And when you got people going on TV, people who speak for a living, people who I'm sure at some point, I'm sure there's some controversy over Paul Finebaum. If you really wanted to dig it up at some point, I'm sure you could find some sort of Paul Finebaum controversy over the last 20, 25 years, something he said that people were appalled by and it got a bunch of blowback. And I would never urge him to be fired, just like now I can understand firings like the dopes in Rochester. I'd never be the guy that says, make sure you fire these people. But when they got fired, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to be the pound the gavel to fire people. It's just out of control, man. It's completely out of control, the direction that things are heading, and it's a scary time to be anyone. And the way people continue to basically pander to certain groups on television, or because they're so afraid of being called bigots or being called racists that they basically can let certain groups get away with anything they want to get away with. And I mean, you were telling me about this earlier, about the shooting in Atlanta, that like the same district attorney that said that a taser is not a deadly weapon, in this case with the cop shooting Rayshard Brooks, that same district attorney 2 weeks ago argued that a taser was a deadly weapon when a cop was operating it against somebody, right?
The two kids in the car, the college kids.
Think about that.
Remember that, the cops that got fired?
Yes, absolutely, because they pulled the kids out of the car. Mm-hmm. Think about that for a second. And nobody calls anybody on this. And that's scary that nobody calls people on this. We're just kind of allowed to be bullshitters and lie to make it fit what we want it to fit. I don't know, man. It's really, really, really ugly the way things are operating. Speaking of ugly, do you think they're going to stop your wrestling matches? Did you see that they've got some jabroni with the COVID, some dude with the from the developmental part of WWE with the COVID?
I feel like they won't stop. Vince doesn't care.
Yeah, well,
they had random like friends and family members there yesterday too for the first time. They're like, "Yeah, come on in."
Yeah. I really would be upset if they disappeared. The wrestling disappeared though, because I mean, that's a big part of your Monday nights. Is I get to take my 4-hour shower and you get to watch your wrestling matches.
Something to watch.
That's true. There's a war on cops right now. People want cops to stand there and be stationary targets for criminals. We are to the point cops will no longer be allowed to have guns. I would quit. I wouldn't be a cop. I mean, listen, I wouldn't be a cop anyway. But if I were a cop, I'd say, what the hell's the point? There is no point in being a cop. And nobody, like the people with all the power have no respect for you, no appreciation for you. They will not care if you die. So who are you out there protect? Like, what's the point? If half the country hates you, it's not even a matter of half the country don't want you around. They hate you. And do you think it's fair to say half the country? I think it's pretty fair. Probably half the country, if not more, hates cops. Why do it? The New York Post reported WFAN might get Craig Carton when he comes out of jail. First of all, the Post didn't report anything. They did an interview with Chris Olivero, and Chris Olivero said he wouldn't write off the possibility. But that's not a report. That is a direct quote from the person that runs the entire cluster of radio stations, which would be fascinating to me that someone could go to jail for 2 years and have a better chance of getting a job than I do because I posted a picture of Al Jolson or because I got into a Radio Row fight. But going to jail is okay. That's one that will always just kind of perturb me. But whatever. Let's see. I remember Craig Carton way back when he was on New Jersey 101.5. He sucked then, and I'm sure he sucks now. I have nothing against Craig Carton. But it's just funny that you can go to jail and no one cares. It's kind of like, then they still question whether you come back. Dude goes to jail, and they're like, can't wait for him to get back on the air. Just funny how we pick and choose who's irredeemable in radio.
Well, he never tweeted a picture of blackface.
That's true. But
especially now. I mean, you literally might be screwed.
Okay, hold on a second, though. He's done some pretty effed up stuff in his day, too.
I know.
So.
But when you Google him, you just get jail for, like, embezzlement and, like, fraud and stuff.
Uh-huh.
You Google you get racist.
Let's see if that's true. What are the first things that pop up when we Google me here? Hold on. I'm going to Google myself here like a real man. That's what real men do.
Well, now it'll just be like your website and stuff. But if you start searching stories.
Let's see.
You've just got that like.
Let's see here. Josh Ennis. Sports radio personality Josh Ennis to join 97.5. 97.5, 97. Well, that's a positive. Everything's from joining 97.5. Oh, that's a positive. Yeah, a lot of it's just 97.5 and other stuff. So you have to really put forth the effort to dig up my dirt, which isn't even dirt. Because it was like, it's like, to me, it's like, what's worse, wearing an OAN t-shirt or posting a picture of Al Jolson to rip people who were being racist? Again, context and nuance don't really matter. John Ritchie got a pass on that DUI. Of course he did. That's how things work, man. Let's see. I think there are ways to manipulate search results when people Google your name. Well, I'd like to learn that. And I would like to manipulate those searches. Josh, sometimes on 97.5, it seems like it's hard not to say Jillian Luther's name in the beginning of the show. That probably is, but I mean, I haven't done it yet. The COVID spike doesn't matter. What does matter is hospitals being overwhelmed. They aren't, and death rate is way down. And the thing is, I don't know that the death rate matters all that much, but I do believe that all those stories that I read about, they all say that the numbers are going up in Texas, right? That's one of the big things you keep reading is the numbers go up, right? Well, again, what matters is in terms of hospitalizations is how many beds are available from what I understand. And right now there is not a fear of the hospitals being overcrowded or overwhelmed in Texas. So I'm not overly concerned, and I don't think people need to shut anything down. I think, listen, I'm not telling you everything's fine, and I'm not telling you that the COVID is great, and I'm not telling you that to not worry about it, and I'm not telling you that it's not real. It clearly is real. The COVID is real. But when you look at the hospital beds and you look at the ICU beds available, which is what they say is the bigger thing, and I've really gotten into studying this, by the way, right?
Right.
Because I wanted to be somewhat educated on this. And they've got sites, and I tweeted about this on Sunday, and people sent me all these good sites to see, like the actual numbers. And then I build my own opinion based on the numbers that I'm reading, right? About hospital beds and available beds and hospitalizations and all that. And the more I read about it, I'm not concerned at the moment. Like, I know all these people want to get on Twitter, and I'm fascinated by the people on Twitter who it's almost like they just want the Rona to keep us locked up forever.
Yes.
Like, they get so, like, if you even suggest that things might be okay, you're an evil person that wants people to die.
Yes, you prefer money over life.
But then again, if you don't have money or a job, what is life after a while? You know what I'm saying? You got to have money to live. But I just don't understand the people who are so vile and so angry, and they hate roller governor, and they hate all this shit. And I'm like, dude, just like all you do is read what the media puts out there. And I don't want to say exposed it, but like on Sunday, there are so many stories that tell you that Houston and Texas are setting these records in the state for hospitalizations and beds, yet they never tell you the full number of beds, right? They never tell you that, in the story, or you have to dig real deep in the story, because the sexy headline is hospitalization setting records, right?
Right.
What they don't tell you is that, yes, those numbers are high, but part of that is that you're stuck in a position where if you open up, more shit will happen. So even if you shut everything down again and put everybody in their houses for another month or two and the number goes way down, when you start letting people out again, the number's going to continue to go back up. That's the way it works.
Unless there's a vaccine. That's what people are arguing, of course, that we have to stay locked down. We have to stay
until there's a vaccine.
Until there's a vaccine.
Yeah, guess what? You ain't going to have a vaccine for months or years, okay? You ain't going to have the vaccine. So you just stay locked up in your house if that's what you want to do. And that's your choice. If you don't want to go to work and like say your job wants you to go to work and you don't want to, stay at home. That's your prerogative. No one's forcing you to go out. Like, that's the other thing that amazes me. It's like, if you stay at your home and you're so scared of everything and you think you're going to die, stay at home. Like, go to the grocery store, get your groceries, and go home. Like, that's the other part of the argument I have a hard time understanding, is you're so angry that other people are going out and getting people sick. You don't have to be around those people. Let's see. I just want to see Josh bring his heat to Baltimore and navigate that tension that exists between Baltimore and Philly. If I were on the radio in Baltimore, my topic of conversation every day would not be what's happening in Philadelphia. I don't know that Philadelphia gives a shit about Baltimore or vice versa. People that are at high risk just need to have a difficult life until this settles down. And that should have been where they went from Jump Street. Anyway, so appreciate you guys. You are wonderful. We're getting